Hey guys, welcome to Tech Life. So today I wanted to talk to you about, actually there's a bunch of things I want to talk to you. I've actually been sitting here for like 20 minutes going over different things I want to discuss. And then I finally started to make a couple of notes. You can see 3 little lines there. I didn't make a whole lot of notes. And then I just decided to just turn on the camera and start talking. So I want to talk to you about some characteristics, some traits, whatever you may want to call it, that I think are good to have if you want to attend a coding bootcamp. So the first one is, do you like to solve problems? Do you like to learn by solving problems? We're now in a point in the bootcamp where we basically get to class, we get a little bit of instruction, and then we go through problem sets. And it's usually creating a small game, and then we get a certain amount of time to solve it, and then we go over it. Then we go to the next problem and we solve it. So if solving problems is not something that you're into and you prefer to learn by lecture, which I don't know who does, but if you like being spoken to and making notes and then kind of going on your own, this may not be the best thing for you, possibly, because that's not how it's run. Second, also, and not really just for bootcamp, but I think wanting to solve problems in general is just something that serves programmers well. Like, for example, I'm a police officer and I see things all the time at work and the way we do things that I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way to do this. In fact, I'll even show you. This is something I was working on. Don't worry about what all of that is right there. Those are all the steps that we have to go through at work for a certain arrest. And it can take an officer several hours to finish all of that. And every time I do that, I'm like, why is this such a broken system? I'm gonna try and solve it with programming and come up with a way that is simpler and faster and less intimidating for officers to go through that stuff. So that's just one example of something that's that I see all the time, that's in my life, that I want to solve. So if you're the kind of person that sees things and you're like, I think there's a better way to do that, or a faster way, or a quicker way, then I think you probably are good for programming. The second thing is, do you handle frustration well? Because going through a bootcamp is going to be full of frustration. So depending on how much you know when you come into the program, if you know very little or nothing about web development, you're going to be frustrated a lot because it's a fast-paced environment, and you have to kind of accept that when you go to class, you are not going to necessarily catch everything that is being explained to you. And then you're going to have to go home and do kind of some independent research. I did tell you that from the very beginning, and I've mentioned that in another video as well. That actually leads me to my third point is, do you obsess over not knowing how to do something? I do. I cannot stand not knowing how to do something I'm supposed to be doing. And when it comes to programming, if I get stuck in a bug that or in some sort of something that the program or the game's supposed to do, but I can't figure it out, I will obsess over it constantly until I solve it. The entire night I will focus on it. I will go to sleep thinking about it, and I will wake up and it'll be the first thing I think about, and I go back to the computer and I try and solve it. It's served me well because I've solved all of those problems I've come across. Not knowing how to do something is something I don't like. If you can live with not knowing how to solve something, then maybe this is not good for you. I don't know, I'm not sure. And I imagine that some of these qualities transfer over to actually becoming a professional web developer. Being able to sit for a long time in front of a computer is probably a good quality to have. If you can't sit for a long time, for several hours at least, you know, I mean, for a minimum, you know, 2 or 3 hours, this is definitely not for you. This has been going for 12 minutes, and I'm probably gonna edit it down to just a few because I don't know what I've been talking about. All right, guys, so I'm gonna edit this down, and I have class in a couple of hours, and I will see you at the next one. All right, bye.